because I worry so much that she's going to go through mental health struggles that I have or addiction struggles that I have. And then I'll blame myself and I'll shame myself. And my therapist always says, but like, who else in the world would be better equipped for the job than you?
Welcome to the My Julie podcast. I'm your host, Minnie Latif, and the rumors are true. It does take a village. Let's do it. All right, guys, welcome to the next episode. Today, I got to interview a dear friend of mine, someone you probably know from the TV hit series Dance Academy, and that's Dena Amy Kaplan. Oh my God, what a kindred spirit she is. Honestly, she is the type of person that I get drawn to when life just goes off kilter a little bit. And though she's probably best known for her music career, her DJ career, her acting career, all the things, you know, I mean, the girl did Coachella, for God's sakes. It's pretty impressive. But I know her as a healer, and this is the area and the space that she lives in today. And we got to have pretty heavy conversation, but those types that get the juices running, the understanding of why we're doing what we're doing and finding real purpose. God, I wish you can have a friend like Dena. We all strive to have that kind of human connection. Let's get into it. You're going to love this. Dena Amy Kaplan, welcome to the My Julie podcast.
Thank you.
We have talked about this moment for a minute.
Yeah, we have. I'm really proud of you. You're doing it. You're doing the
You're
thing.
doing the thing. I called you up. I said, how do you do that thing?
I said, I don't know. Fake it till you make it, babe. Like everything else I do in my life.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you've got a podcast that is charting, my friend. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Everything you touch does turn into a sprinkle of gold and diamonds and pearls.
Not everything. No, definitely not everything.
The good stuff.
Thank you.
The
I appreciate that.
And you deserve it. You're one of the good people in the world.
So are you. Thank you.
Takes one to know one. For those, if they don't know who you are,
I'm sure they don't.
Okay, well, yeah, let's give them a little bit of a background. Just all the basic things, right? You started off, actually, ballerina is very first on there, right?
Yeah.
Ballerina, dancer, actress, DJ. I'm going to get to spiritual healer at the end.
Oh,
Mother
God.
is in there. Mother. Have I missed something? Podcaster. Student. Yeah. Wifey.
No, I'm not a wifey yet.
You know,
I'm waiting.
You got good wifey.
I'm wearing a ring on that finger, but it's not the ring.
Yeah, but you're in that relationship.
I'm in a beautiful relationship.
Yeah. Sister.
Yeah.
Aunt.
Yeah.
You're all the things
My sisters love you so much.
I love your
The
sisters
Kaplan
too.
sisters just love Minnie.
I want to be one of the Kaplan sisters because I don't have a sister, so I admire the
You're
three
welcome
of you.
to join us.
Well, I think I have, to be
Yeah,
honest. We'll
you
talk
have.
about how I've met each of you in very independent ways over the years. But ultimately, you've touched so many different industries, and we somehow keep crossing paths over the years.
I was thinking that on the way here, that we've like been orbiting each other's worlds for so many years. Like I've known you for so long.
So long.
We've always sort of had this like thread that's just
We ain't cutting no cords.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We're going to stick it through. So the first, and I think it'd be really important. Well, I got to ask everyone the same question. You're going to be no different. Dena Amy Kaplan.
Yes.
How many years have you lived?
36 years on this beautiful planet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Orbiting 36 years is a gorgeous thing. How do you feel about aging?
I feel very comfortable about it. I say that, and then the first thing that just came to my mind is like, I want another baby. Time's going too fast, and like just always thinking about my body clock and running out of time to have more children. So
how old were you when you had Maya?
She's 2.
2?
Yeah. So that part of aging, like in the immediate future, scares me a little bit. But overall, I feel quite like welcome to it, because I've really preferred life as I've gotten older, and I think it just gets better with age, actually.
Yeah. Well, I had my first and only baby at 38.
Okay.
38 and a half, actually.
Got 2 years.
Yeah, well, And then some, like, don't worry about it too much. I know this universe has more babies for you.
Oh, thank
Feel it
you.
in my
I
waters.
hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a good mama.
Thank you.
And she's gorgeous.
She is absolutely gorgeous.
You have inspired me in ways that I don't think are atypical. So a couple of years ago, about 4 decades ago, I started struggling with life. Life is
Hard
hard.
relate. Yeah.
And something that I noticed about you is that you're on this constant journey of healing and self-discovery and what can I do to look inwards. This is well before you created the company, The Self Retreat. I just noticed that you were always on this journey of self-discovery. So when you finally announced that you were putting together a retreat and called it The Self Retreat, which I thought was just chef's kiss,
Thank you.
along with a couple of other amazing women who I love and adore as well. I was like, I don't know the details. I don't know where. I don't know when. I don't know how much, but I'm in because I trusted whatever you put together. I know that you had lived that experience. You tried and tested yourself. It worked for you in some capacity. And just give me some.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And it was life-changing. And I attended the very first self-retreat.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so grateful to have you there because I do feel like you've always been this like cheerleader on the sidelines, just like whatever I do, you're so supportive of. And I remember you saying that. You were like, I don't know what it is, but sign me up.
Yeah.
Like I trust whatever you've curated is going to be really special. And I think it's true to a degree. Like I have gone very deep on my self-discovery journey, my self-healing journey. So what I have put together for the retreats is very well researched and well lived. So yeah, I appreciate you for saying that. Thank you.
How many retreats are we in now?
We've got our fifth or sixth coming up. Yeah.
Insane.
And then we've got like 3 more that are sold out. And so the next one that's available for spots is not till June next year, which is just like crazy that, yeah.
I'm so happy for you. It really, so I think people sometimes ask me like, why did you go? And I always say, when it's your turn.
Yeah.
Your body just yells at you and says, you need to do this. There's just something that just caught, because I couldn't give you one sentence response as to why I was going. I just knew I needed it. And I thought it was going to be I was just tired. So by the time I got there, I was so fatigued that I did go actually quite inward for the first, say, 24 hours. I didn't speak that much because I was genuinely so fatigued. And I was observing a lot there was only 5 or 6 guests. Is that how many?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of that first 24 hours, we're there for 2.5 days, I suppose. Yeah. Observing why the other women that were there. And I found that quite interesting. And we all had different stories. Everybody's why for attending was quite unique, actually.
Yeah.
And I just sat back and went, oh, fuck, like it doesn't end. Like we're always going to need to lean into each other.
Yeah.
We need this for life.
Yeah.
And I think what you're doing is almost critical to living like what you're doing. It's so important, Dena.
Yeah, well, I think like one of my favorite sayings is empowered women empower women, right? Like we have to lift each other up and we have to have this sort of sisterhood and, community that we can sit around in a circle and hold space for each other and pass on our secrets to each other and build each other up. So that's always been like another thought I had on the drive down was like, you're such a girl's girl. And like, so am I. Like, I just want to lift other women up as much as possible because I know what it's like to suffer and I don't want other people to go through that. So I think, everyone does come on the retreats with very different experiences and intentions of what they want and expectations. And it's such a mixed bag of people. And, we don't always know why people are coming. Like, you fill in a little form, but we don't really know. Some people arrive and they just crack wide open. For some people, it takes, 48 hours before they are in any way ready to sort of open up.
You will crack.
But yeah, I'm yet to see someone who hasn't had a transformation. I think women have that ability to do that for each other. Like when we sit in a circle and we reflect ourselves back to each other, and we all have this resonance with each other, magical things happen. And it's so beautiful to witness, like the way people arrive versus how they leave. It's just
I wish
amazing.
people could just be there to like watch it and
witness
it,
me too,
because it's so magical. It's almost witchery in their
well, we're witches, us women.
Are we?
Yeah, totally.
We are. Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah.
Do you think your sisterhood, like the way you carry that, is for the fact that you come as one of 3 girls?
I think so. Yeah, I think I come from a family where there was never competitiveness between sisters, and there was never like jealousy or anything like that. Like there was just this unwavering, unconditional support and love between us. So I've never felt for other women competitive or jealous. I've felt like a union and a desire to like lift others up, instead of sort of like I've never felt like there's not enough space in the room for everyone to have their slice of pie. Like, I just believe everyone can have their cake and eat it too, and we can help each other like get there. And that does probably come from the fact that I'm in the middle of 2 amazing sisters that I've got incredible relationships with. So it's a real testament to my parents, I think.
We got to give mum and dad credit too, huh?
Yeah.
Because as parents now, we understand like how challenging it is to raise children, and let alone 3. And it's a life's work. It never ends. I can only imagine. I'm 48 and my mum called me this morning wondering how I'm feeling. And you're still someone's little girl.
Yeah, my mum checks in with me every morning. Every morning. How are you? It's like my first text message every morning. Yeah. It's really cute.
And the family group chat.
Yeah, keeping up with the Kaplans.
Keeping up with it is a sport within itself.
Oh my gosh.
It's
nonstop. And then sometimes I'll like not look at my phone for, I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours, and there's like 300 messages, and then they're all like, Dena with question marks. And I'm like, guys, just give me the dot points. Like, I'm not scrolling. I'm not reading through 300 messages. Like, what have I missed? Yeah. What have I missed? And it's like the stupidest things that would probably be, 5 minutes on the phone, but it's taken 5-6 hours on a WhatsApp group with back and forth memes and chats and videos. And it's beautiful. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I yearned for having a sister because I have 2. I'm lucky to be one of 3. I have 2 older brothers, and with that came this feeling of real security. I always felt like somebody was protecting me all the time. So we never hung out. It was not like we were super close growing up where we always played together and stuff. So I missed out on that kind of play as a kid with my older brothers because they were a bit older than me. But the plus side was I always felt like I had bodyguards. Right?
Like an amazing feeling.
And right into the point where in my 20s I moved to the UK on my own, and there would be occasional times where it would be a little bit scary by myself in a foreign country. I was going to say, don't know the language until I learned the Cockney English, and then I was fine. But at times when things got really like nerve-wracking, I actually felt the energy of my brothers who were way in Melbourne, like nowhere near me, and I still felt truly protected to know I have family that if something ever went down, they would just be a phone call and maybe one plane ride away, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was
what a gift to grow up with that feeling of safety. It's like, all we want as humans is to feel safe. So that's really it's quite a gift to grow up with that.
So I can understand why you want to have another kid as well, because it's also for your daughter.
Yes, right? It's much more for my daughter than for me, to be honest. Like I feel very satisfied in just my beautiful Maya. Like I don't feel like I need to have more children for my experience.
Yeah.
But for her in the world to have a sibling, I really want to give her that, because my sisters are my favorite things in the world. Like they're the best things in my life. So that's what I want to give Maya, probably more so than what I want for myself, because pregnancy was not easy for me, so I don't really want to go through it again.
No.
But like, touch wood, I do want to go through it again, but exactly for what you said, so that she can have the experience of a sibling, because I just think it's such a remarkable, special privilege.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I tried to do that for my daughter as well. So my marriage was pretty much over whilst I was pregnant, but we, held on for a little while. And when Skylar was 1, I literally got pregnant again, not because of any other reason than what we talked about, right? And I was like, I'm doing it for her. And a few weeks later, I lost the baby and I felt nothing but relief.
Wow.
And I was
I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, thank you. But I never think about it because I think ultimately I knew the marriage was over.
Yeah.
And it was just going to be Skylar and I, and I'm her sibling, I'm her mum, I'm her dad, I'm her everything. Yeah. And I know it's too much pressure to put on one person to be your everything, but she was only one. And that was the moment where I said, okay, the baby thing didn't happen, baby number 2 thing didn't happen. Now I can leave the marriage and go. I've done everything for her. Yeah. It doesn't always work out the way that I had sketched and planned in this perfect world that I'm going to create for my bubba, but it's going to be enough for us to thrive in life no matter what gets thrown at us. So,
and you're an incredible mother. Skylar's so lucky. Yeah.
I apologize to her regularly for not being good enough as a mum. And she looks at me and goes, but I love you. And I'm like, wow, like, am I doing myself a disservice? But I think it's really important to be honest with our kids when we think we could have done better.
Yeah.
Because there are many moments where I could have done better as a mum.
I feel like that every day of my life. Yeah.
And having that dialogue, like I know Maya's still quite young to have those type of dialogues, but Skylar's 9 now and I have those dialogues with her and I just go, I'm really proud of myself, but I know I could have done better. I'm going to try harder. If we have this situation happen again, I'm going to give it a stronger attempt at just being a bit better at my decision making, not blowing up, Dena. Like it's my level of patience. It's not a virtue for me, but like now talking about my mothering with my actual child, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's beautiful what you said, like to be having those conversations with her alone and to have that self-awareness immediately makes me go like, you're such an incredible mother. To even be, they say a good parent is one who's wondering the question, am I a good parent?
Right. Yeah.
So, just to have that level of consciousness and self-awareness and have that sort of communication with her alone, like how lucky is she to have a mum like you to have those conversations with? Yeah. And I feel like I talk about this to my therapist a fair bit, like around the things I have shame around and the things I'm not proud of that I'm really scared of passing down to Maya. And she always comes back to me and says, well, if any of that were to come true, who better than you, for Maya to come and talk to, like, because I worry so much that she's going to go through mental health struggles that I have or addiction struggles that I have. And then I'll blame myself and I'll shame myself. And my therapist always says, but like, who else in the world would be better equipped for the job than you as a mother, for her to come and talk to? And I'm like, yeah, that's true, actually. Like my lived experience has to be worth something.
Of course.
Yeah. So I feel the same about, your experiences. But I kind of, that mum guilt and like sort of apologizing. I feel that every day. I feel like I could be doing a better job.
This is the thing, like it's not mum guilt. I want to be really clear on that because I hear that a lot. Like, oh, I feel so guilty. And it's like, no. This is different. I don't have guilt for having a career, going to work, or her having to wait on me, her being bored because I'm in a meeting, or like I'm not her 24/7 entertainer. Yeah, because that's not my role as well, right? She has to learn what it's like to hang out and just wait for mum to do the adult things, because adult things have to be prioritized over the fun things often.
Unfortunately.
Often, right? And for her to learn the why that is, and just understanding, it's not just a circus and rainbows and all those type of things, right? But I'm really good at being present when I've gone, okay, that's all ticked. Now it's time for us, and I can be really present and, available to her. So I don't have guilt in that sense. It's more of, but still with all of that awareness, all of that consciousness, and I still didn't make a decision that I feel I could have done better.
Yeah.
That all the time. That's not a guilt thing. That's a reflection thing. And I go, with all the knowledge I had, I shouldn't have done it that way.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We recently had Lael Stone on the podcast, on our podcast Life Academy, and she's a parenting expert, and she's just incredible, her wisdom. But she was speaking about the repair stage of parenting and how important that is. So she's like, you are going to make mistakes and you are going to fuck up. Like am I allowed to swear on the pod?
Yes.
Yeah. Like every parent, is going to make mistakes, and you are. But the most important part, the most important, like pivotal moment for the child is the repair, is when you come and say, hey, I didn't do my best. Like, I could have done better. Mummy, was having a really hard day, and, that's my stuff, not yours. And, this is what I could have done better. And she said that is like the key thing.
Well, there you go. And also being that real heightened, I guess, the whole awareness of, by the way, this isn't about you, kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my stuff.
This is my stuff. And it's not up to you to make mummy feel better. It's not up to you to make mummy whatever, like be the kid, I'm the adult, but also I can't fake it as well. Like they will go through heartache. So they need to know what it looks like to be sad. They need to know what it looks like to be rejected as an adult. Like my daughter is witnessing me now picking myself up from a lot of rejection. And it's important for her to know that it happens even to me, even to her mum, and that her mum feels it and still functions.
Yeah, and can handle it. Yeah. That resilience. Yeah, it's really funny. Maya's currently, so she's 2 and she's just like learning words and feelings, but they're all out of context. So like she said to me the other day with a big smile on her face, she's like, Mom, I'm grumpy. And I was like, are you? Like? She's like, yeah, really grumpy. It's really scary. And I said, because I don't even know where she got that from. Like, we don't really use the word grumpy in our house. Like, I don't think maybe Alex has used it around her. I'm not sure. But I just thought it was so cute. Like, she's learning feelings and words, but hasn't contextualized them yet and hasn't like figured out. Like, and she says like, ow, like to things that don't hurt, like, but she doesn't quite understand. So it's really cute at the moment where she's trying to like match her feelings to her experience and all these words she's learning and all the things she sees me going through. And like, there's a video that my whole family's obsessed with, but she's like playing in the park and I'm videoing her, and then she gets up and she goes, oh, my back.
Just like mum.
And because I've got this back injury, this ongoing, it's just, and I'm always like, oh, my back. And like she just imitates everything, this little sponge. So it's just beautiful to watch her go through these feelings and emotions.
God, we're lucky, aren't we?
So lucky. Girl moms.
Yeah, girl moms. I prayed for her to be a girl because I really wanted a sister. But I can see as she's getting older, the sisterly kind of relationship will come. But right now I'm firmly mother.
Your mother.
And I think it'll always be like that.
That's really interesting. I prayed for a boy. I was really worried about having a girl because I have found being a female in the world not an easy thing. And I didn't want my daughter to just like to suffer or to have a hard time. So when I found out I was having a girl, I was really scared because I was like, shit, like this world is not, it's not easy being a woman. And like my personal experience, like until I had Maya, I was like, yeah, this thing is like really, I don't know if I'd recommend it. Like it's a pretty fucking hard thing. So I was really scared when I found out I was having a girl, but now that I have one, I'm so grateful. Like, I'm loving being a girl mom. And if I have another girl, like, I'll be stoked.
Yeah.
But initially I was like, I want a boy. They've got
Yeah.
it easier. Life's just easier. It's less complicated. Yeah.
They won't like probably agree with that, but sure.
They should agree with that.
They should.
Yeah.
We love men here. I have to say this in every podcast. They are our allies. And a lot of what we're trying to do at My Julie is to really demystify and clarify the stuff that we carry as women so we can have greater understanding and support from the men in our world.
Sure.
Be it our fathers, brothers, uncles, neighbors, all of that. I think once we are a bit more transparent with the struggles of whatever it is that life is throwing at us, and as opposed to being judged as a whining woman, which is an acronym in the US medical health system, WW, whining women, which is what women written on their medical files when they show up with perimenopause symptoms. And so it's only of recent years that as more and more information is coming about, it's like she's not whining, her hormones are all imbalanced. And without an understanding, we're just that irritating, here she goes again. And it's so much deeper than that, right? And we've simplified it by a whinge. It's so insulting. It's so deeply insulting.
And when you say we, I'm like, yeah, the patriarchy, not we. Because women,
we know,
are not lying, you know. They don't come in like seeking attention, and you just see all this stuff, particularly in the medical world, where women are just dehumanized, and their pain and their suffering is minimized and not validated. And I could go on about that very passionately for a very long time, but just hearing that, I was like, that makes my blood boil.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when you hear that women, once they kind of hit their 40s, they start to feel invisible or not have a space for them, you can see the why. But the reality is, as someone I'm 48, I feel more entitled to everything that I have to say because I've had almost 5 decades on this planet of lived experience. I'm very clear awareness that I know very little still in the world, but I know a hell of a lot more than I did when I was 5 versus 50, right?
Sure.
And so on and so forth. So 60-year-old Minnie and 70-year-old Minnie and 80-year-old, she's going to be a badass. Like the amount of stuff she'll
Biggest
know.
badass ever. Yeah.
Oh, God, it'll be such a good cup of tea, I tell you. But you talked earlier about like when we were saying like the sisterhood and, you know, never feeling that competitive nature because of the household that you grew up in, which is such a privilege. But I don't have sisters, right? I only saw competitiveness amongst women when I started working in corporate world. And it was such a shock to me because my brain doesn't work like that. I had brothers who literally cheered me on the sidelines when I would have like little athletics and sports and all of that. Even to this day, like last night I tried on a gown and my brother was like, tell your aunt, to his kids, make sure you compliment your auntie, how nice she looks. And it just reminded me of like when I was a kid that my brothers always cheered me on. So obviously they weren't competitive with me. And now I get to my mid to late 20s, I'm becoming quite senior in my corporate world and starting to work with a few more women and noticing this defense versus what I've normally experienced, which is let's link arms and grow and build together. And it was such a shock for me. And I'm noticing now, I mean, I've been out of corporate world for almost 20 years, but I'm noticing it now through socials and stuff that women are like, hey, let's not compete. Let's like rise together. And there's more power in unity, obviously.
Yeah.
But with that, it also increases the dialogue that we can have with the men in our world as well to understand what we're going through. It's if we're busy bitching on each other as women on women, then we have no hope in getting the men on our side as well. Like we have to start with us.
Yeah.
And
100%.
that's the thing I noticed about you and your sisters. And I've met all three of you in very different experiences, and you're very different. You're very similar, but you're also very
we're
different.
very different.
Yeah. But your very common thread is how can I help you?
Yeah.
You come from a place of service.
Yeah, thank you.
All of
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
like that. And it's like, oh, it's so refreshing because it's instant. It's this instant warmth, and your family is like that too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well, I was
your
going to say that comes from my parents. Like, my
Yeah.
parents are just the most generous, warm,
Yeah.
loving people. They really are. And yeah, we were very lucky to be brought up in a household that was very supportive and loving. And yeah, we didn't, there wasn't that scarcity and sort of, they say you can't like manifest from a place of scarcity. You've got to manifest from a place of abundance. And I think when you say everything I touch turns to gold, I think it's because I come all the time internally from a place of abundance. Like I feel so full of gratitude and privilege all the time that things do happen for me. Really amazing things happen to me all the time and happen for me. But I think it's because I live on this planet with a lot of gratitude and feeling of abundance. And that comes from family. And I had an experience when I was in my acting days. I shouldn't say that. I'm still in my acting days, but I was doing like one of my biggest jobs. It was a big American TV series, and there was a very well-known actress working with me, and she was really, really mean to me. Like she bullied me, and she was competitive with like all the younger women in the cast. And it was like my first real experience of another woman being really
trying to take you down.
Yeah, like just being horrible and like being threatened by me. Like I didn't understand it, like when we first met, I was all like, hi, and oh my God, I love your work. I'm so honored to be working with you. And she was just a really horrible person. Like I don't know if that's fair to say, but it felt like it,
That's what you felt.
Yeah, that's what I felt. And she really bullied me, particularly to the point where I'd be in my trailer like crying most days, not wanting to go out on set. And even on set, she would do things that were not quite like they were outwardly like bullying, like the director would come up and give me a direction and then she'd whisper in my ear, like, don't listen to that. You do what I say, and she had so much power because of who she was and her status as an actress. So it was a very confusing experience because that wasn't my experience of women. Like my experience was that we like as a dancer, like in ballet class and, growing up dancing and singing and in theater kids, like it was all about support and like lifting each other up. And all of a sudden I had this experience of someone really.
Was she much older than you?
Yeah, she not much older. I think she was probably in her 40s.
And you were
I would have been in my mid-20s. But we were like, she was the female lead and then I was probably the next step under so we had a lot of scenes together. And she would make comments all the time about my body and my like tan or my skin or just like really weird judgmental comments. And she made me hate the experience. Like I remember after shooting that show, I didn't want to act anymore because this woman was just so awful. And she has a bit of a reputation for it. So I, realized it wasn't just me after a while. Like the producers of the show kept coming up to me and being like, we're so sorry. Like we can hear her on the microphone. We know what's going on. And I'm like, well, why don't you say something? Like, why is no one protecting me? But everyone was just letting her get away with it because she was the star of the show. Yeah. But that was my first and like only real experience of another woman really belittling and being
undermining,
just being a bully, being really horrible. And I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Like it's awful. And that wasn't how I grew up, and that wasn't like my experience of women in general. And I felt like allergic to it. I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. Like I don't want to be having beef with you. Like I want to be inspired by you and I want you to mentor me and I want, I look up to you, because that's how I would treat if a younger actress came on set with me. I would be like, how can I help this young actress? Like, how can I be of service? How can I mentor? How can I lead? with grace.
Yeah. I feel that way about you, and I'm a decade older than you. You know, that you can tell that you have that in you, you know, of wanting to take care and help and nurture. And say many years have gone by since that incident, and since then you've done so much inner work. In reflection, can you understand why she behaved the way she behaved now?
There's parts of it I understand. I mean, I have compassion.
Not to excuse it, right?
No. Yeah. I have like deep compassion for anyone behaving that way. Has to be in a lot of pain, you know, and like, so I think she must have been suffering a lot because I don't think, it's like the hurt people sort of thing, you know. I don't think people behave that way if they're happy and well within themselves. And so she was obviously threatened or jealous or
triggered something.
So I have compassion for that perhaps. But I also think there's also just some assholes around, and you've got to like, you've got to just, you know, protect yourself sometimes.
You must.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't think about it very often. Like this is the first time I've, you know, ever spoken about it publicly or thought about it. Like it didn't affect me like it did at the time, but it wasn't this like big trauma that, you know, played a big role in my life. Yeah. But I have compassion for the idea that perhaps she was in a lot of pain, that was her way of treating other women. Yeah.
Because that is exactly what a tool that I use now when I meet a lot of women on a daily basis that are going through stuff, and sometimes their approach can be quite jarring, and I have to always remind myself that they're coming at me from wherever they're coming from versus it's directed at me.
Sure.
And I have to, in order for me to protect myself and in order for me not to carry that weight and sadness and, you know, I put myself in a vulnerable position quite often, which impacts the way people approach me often. And I'm getting really good at going, she's hurt. Or even he. It's not necessarily always you know, from a woman, but people come with their stories and their baggages, and when they approach you in a certain way, it's not a reflection of my value and my worth, and it's just made life a lot easier, honestly.
100%. Yeah. You know, there's like a saying I've heard, you know, there's like my stuff, your stuff, and God's stuff. And it's like, you know, I just try to always think about things in that way. Like I stay on my side of the tennis court and like have those internal boundaries, you know, with relationships that are like I've had a lot of, I was talking to another friend about this morning, but like I've had a lot of friendships that have like broken up, which I think is a really painful thing, almost more painful than romantic breakups in my experience. Like friendship breakups have been very hard for me. And I always think like, I don't know what their experience of me was, and I don't know what their experience in life was. And so it's like, there was my stuff, there's their stuff, and then there's God's stuff. Like, because there's a whole other, you know, I believe a whole other world up there that, you know, is out of my control and I'm powerless over, of how things are meant to play out.
Yeah, for sure. It's very similar to that whole concept, like two brothers have an alcoholic father. One brother turns out to be an alcoholic. The other brother turns out to be never touched the stuff, right? We all interpret the same story with a different, 100%. Like it looks like two different experiences. And that's cool too, right? We don't all want to be the same. How boring and vanilla if we were all just interpreting life identically. We're just these like carbon copies of each other moseying on through life. Now, we're unique, that's for sure. We're super unique. One of the things that happened on the retreat, it's a year ago too. I had a look back. I actually thought it was 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's only one.
You've been busy.
Yeah, same with you. You've been busy too. So I did look back, and it's almost a year to the day, which is crazy. But you and I ended up having a little one-on-one talk under the pergola in the freezing cold.
Too. In your red tracksuit.
Penny, guys,
Yeah.
trying to get them to sponsor the next one.
Yes, please. It was gorgeous, that red outfit. But yeah, we had a beautiful
We had
D&M.
yeah, and you were freezing. It was cold. It was winter. And you had another flare up. You were really ill and you still turned up. You're fresh out of hospital, but you still turned up. And these are the things that have been a common thread in the conversations today, in all of the podcasts that we've been having, is life gets really, really hard, but we still turn up.
Yeah.
And that's something that we should be really proud of.
Yeah,
but
I think resilience is it's a beautiful thing to be proud of.
Yes, because it's not common.
Mm.
I've seen a lot of not resilient action over the last couple of years anyway. And anyway, we had this talk while she could still function. And I learnt so much about you that I had no idea, right? And in the world of addiction particularly, and PMDD, which I think you're really one of the people in Australia that is making waves in educating people on this. Because
oh my gosh, thank you. That's
I
a
do.
compliment. I hope so. I really hope so. It's a crippling illness, and it's completely invisible, and it's not even, really being recognized by doctors. So there's so many women just silently suffering. So if I can give a voice to it, I'm proudly take that. So thank you.
Your experience of PMDD is so different to the couple of other people that I've spoken about too. So I'm not sure if it's meant to have a spectrum so vast, but the story, that your lived experience of it is, as you said, crippling. And I, like when COVID came along and people were self-diagnosing themselves with ADHD and all of this sort of stuff, and it's like, it's one thing to self-diagnose and it's another thing to medically be diagnosed. And so for you particularly, it ain't no, I think I have this. You've suffered for pretty much from teenage years, right?
Yeah. As soon as my period started, it was a roller coaster ride.
What's your typical, like, I don't want you to have to go through it all again, but what are your typical symptoms?
I think like the biggest one that makes it so drastic and dangerous is that I would get suicidal ideation very quickly. So I would go from being like Dena, like doing her thing, amazing. And then as I would start to ovulate, I would start to feel these feelings of depression. And then the depression would start to feel so out of control, and the anxiety would get really out of control as well. And I'd have panic attacks and insomnia. And then it very quickly turned to, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I don't want to do this. And I think because of the relentlessness and the nature of the fact that I had to deal with it every month, that was the part that made the suicidal ideation very strong. I was like, I can't do this every month, like this level of pain and suffering for the rest of my life. Like, I just can't do it. So it would very quickly turn to, I always like call it my Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, or like, it's like very black and white, night and day. I'd be perfectly on and capable and able to do everything in the world. Then I'd ovulate, and then the symptoms would start. And then like just before my period, sort of 3 days beforehand, I would be catatonic, basically, like finding it very hard to find a reason to live, really. And then I would bleed, and then I would be okay again, like a light switch, like absolutely fine again. And I'd be like, well, that was silly. And then we do it all again next month, and it's just so exhausting. And I like, the image I often use to describe it is like you're climbing up a mountain, and as you're about to reach the top, you slip and you fall down. And it's like that every single month. Every month I'm climbing, I'm doing my best. I'm putting all these health practices, I'm doing all this work, I'm doing it all. And every time I think I'm about to reach the top of a mountain, I get knocked down again.
And whilst you're climbing that mountain, you're hyper aware that it's coming again, right?
Yeah. I'm like, no, I've got to keep trying, and maybe it'll be different this month, or maybe, maybe I'll find a solution. And luckily now, thanks to Professor Kulkarni, who's like this one woman show saving PMDD in the world, I don't suffer anymore because I'm on HRT, hormone replacement therapy. And that's been life-changing for me because it's taken away all the symptoms. So because my hormones are stable, my brain and mental health stability is so much better now. So I don't have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to have another baby, which I do,
Mm-hmm.
I have to go off the HRT. So there's this like feeling in my head all the time of impending doom of like, oh God, the PMDD symptoms are going to come back.
And you can't do what are typical treatments, right, for PMDD in reference to anxiety medications and things
Yeah,
like that?
I can. I mean, the typical treatments would be first to go on an antidepressant and the pill, both of which I tried, and they did nothing for me. In fact, the pill made my symptoms worse. So those would be the first line of treatments. And then after that, there's not really anything. And it wasn't until Professor Kulkarni started doing this research around the relationship between hormones and mental health and trauma that she started treating women with HRT, young women with HRT for PMDD. And yeah, that's now the next line of treatment. But it's so new and it's so progressive that most GPs don't even know it's an option.
Yeah. I mean, hormones rule our bodies, and we have estrogen and progesterone receptors all over our body. And so people look at HRT or any kind of hormone replacement as only something you need to monitor in reference to reproductive organs.
Exactly.
And it's so sad. It's like, oh, please educate women to understand we need it in everything, in our breast tissue, right down
our
from
brain
health. Our brain health, of course, as men need testosterone. And because testosterone is looked at as, the sex hormone, well, all right, but it's also for men's brain health too. And there's a lot of work and a lot of studies showing that all men, not a particular person, but all men after the age of 40 should be having testosterone supplements as well, if applicable, blah, 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 please see your doctor, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But that's for another podcast. The whole notion of hormones and mental health, it's just, I can't talk about it enough as well, because my life has changed since, I mean, that's just one thing that I do. And I started HRT before I entered perimenopause as well, because I would do anything to try and figure out how to keep my stamina, keep my mood stable.
Have that stability. Not your hormones ruling your life so that it becomes this, you're completely powerless. And the hormones are so strong. And, that's what Professor Kulkarni explained to me. She was like, we have to use external hormones to take over your internal ones, because the internal ones are raging and all over the place and causing so much havoc in your brain. And I actually haven't shared this publicly with anyone, but I'm comfortable talking about it. I myself had a miscarriage, and after that was when shit got really bad for me. And she explained to me that for women who go through birth and losses as well, that's a huge trauma for PMDD women, because it's such an upheaval of hormones, and it's such a destabilizing thing for the hormones. So after that happened, I was so unwell, and I went into hospital, to a psychiatric hospital, to Cabrini Women's Mental Health Clinic, when I met her. And, she was just like, I'm not surprised at all that this is where you're at, because after the miscarriage, your hormones are just wild and all over the place, and we need to control them externally so we can get you some stability internally. And that's what we're doing now, and it's been great. I hope more women get onto it.
Same. Hearing about you struggling, so it's just so deep. It's one thing to miscarry, and then it's another thing to still suffer for your stuff as well. As it just, there's the roll-on effect is it's hard to speak on. But I don't know if it's okay to ask this question, but I'm going to ask it, and you can tell me what.
Sure, it's okay.
Yeah, Alex loves you through all of this. And I have yet to find men to love me through all of mine.
Aww.
What do you think is going on with Alex to say, this is where I step up as a man and hold the fort whilst my woman is womaning?
Yeah, suffering and being a woman.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, It makes me sad to hear you say that. And I really hope in this lifetime you find an Alex, because you really deserve that. You're such an incredible woman. But yeah, you know, I say all the time, like, the proudest reflection that I have of the work I've done on myself, I see in Alex. You know, it's almost like all the years of pain and suffering and deep work and therapy and healing, it manifested into this beautiful human being who is my safety and my rock, like the way your brothers sounded, you know, that safety. Like, I'd never had that before till I met Alex. And I don't really know what it is about him. He's a unicorn. Like, he's so wise and almost otherworldly. Like, he just has this, he comes from a family of therapists. So there's a huge emotional intelligence. Yeah. He's a scientist as well. So he's got intelligence, but he's got emotional intelligence.
He's got the EQ too and the IQ.
Yeah. But what he has the most of is compassion. It's boundless and like unconditional. And every time I think I've pushed him to the edge and like, oh no, this will be it, I'm met with more compassion and more. And I'm just always like, whoa, like, you know, when is he going to run away, or when is it going to be too much? And it's never, ever, ever too much. And we've done like some couples therapy. So my therapist has met him, and she always says to me, like, he's one of the most whole people she's ever met. And I think that's how I would describe him best as well. He's just really whole and self-assured. And he has, I think he's come into this world, and one of his, you know, I think we all come with reasons and sort of missions or dharma, whatever you want to call it. But I think one of his is to hold women, you know, to hold space for women and to like be the safe person for women, because throughout his life, it's been a bit of a theme that he's had this capacity to hold space for women who are potentially suffering or in crisis or needing help. And he has an innate ability to just be with me in it and not run a mile. And like, you know, just before you came on the retreat, when I was in hospital, like I was in hospital for 4 weeks with my back, and in the pain and agony, like, it doesn't even compare to childbirth. Like, they had me on like fentanyl, morphine, ketamine, like they had me on like 10 different,
and still
I could not get any pain relief. I was crawling on the floor screaming like an animal, like, you know, it was so crazy. And he did not leave my side for 4 weeks. He slept on the hospital floor. He watched me through this, like, just this chaos and this mess, and the worst parts of me came out. Like, I was like a monster, you know, like horrible parts of me. And I was like, these fucking hospitals are fucked, and these doctors are fucked, and everyone's fucked. And I was just so angry, and I was in so much pain, and he just held me through all of it. And yeah, I don't know. I've never met a man like him, and I've never been with a man like him. So I know he's rare. And that's why,
I mean, if you want one, just go to NASA. Is that where you
go to NASA? That's where they work. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's the sort of intelligence. I think you have to be smart enough to work at NASA to also have the emotional intelligence to hold space for a woman like me. And he's so not interested in Dena Amy. That's like my favorite thing about him. Is like, he's never seen any of my work. He's never seen me DJ. He's never seen me dance. He's never seen me act.
I mean, you've done Coachella. You've done some big gigs. You know? And we didn't even get to, we're nearing the end, but I have to say this, that where we met. So I had the nail and brow bar at Maya Chadstone, and you just walked past with your mum, you stopped, you got your nails done, and you left. And that was that. I didn't know you. I never watched Dance Academy. I'm much older than you, so I didn't know any of that. But my God, my team did. So the girls, I remember Claire, and Claire goes, oh my God, do you know who that was? You had left by this point. And I go, no. And she's like, oh, she was from Dance Academy and Dance Show. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, wonderful. And that's that. And that's how we met for the first time. And I was like, okay. And there's just a warmth about you, but I guess it didn't click because you don't walk around with this hey, I've done this and I've done that. And
it's a job.
It is, I know,
It's a
but
job.
it's still like, it's cool, Dena Amy. It's cool. Okay.
Yeah, it is cool, I think. And I think every other man I've ever been with was very attracted to that and the coolness and the sparkles and the glamour and the fame and the success. Alex could not give a fuck about that stuff. He couldn't be less interested. Like, he's interested in art.
Yes.
And if I've created something, he's like, oh, okay, I want to hear your creation. But he's so much more interested in my heart and my mind. And like, he's so excited about my studies and that I'm, putting myself into this world of psychology and psychotherapy. And he's like, really he's a family man and he comes from a beautiful family. I don't really know how to answer the question of he's a unicorn. He's the greatest gift in my life other than Maya. The two of them are just I'm very blessed.
It is a blessing and it makes your home whole, and as many times as my heart gets ripped out of its soul, I'm still up for love.
Yeah,
I'll
totally.
still do it again and again and again.
Me too. Sucker for love.
Yes, sucker. I'll do it. Woo!
I
we'll
really
see.
hope in this lifetime of yours that you get your Alex. I really do.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm really hopeful.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard.
You're the dream woman. You're so beautiful. You're so warm. You're a business mogul, and you also have all the you're like female Alex. You've got the intelligence, the emotional intelligence. You're such a beautiful person.
Thank you, Dena.
Yeah.
You're the kindest. It's where I go. You're saying you're studying now, right? To
psychotherapy and counselling.
All right. So I have my very own Esther Perel in Australia now.
One day. I've got 6 years to go.
That's okay. Well, I ain't going anywhere. I think the world's a better place having you in it.
I feel the same about you.
I'm so grateful. And I will be at the next self-retreat reunion.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Which is awesome. I'd do anything to get those feelings again. Crack us open, baby.
Beautiful. I'm so excited to have you there. We'll do some breath work, some ice baths, some movement. We'll get dancing again. It's going to be really special.
Yeah, I mean, you did try to teach me. I turns out can't dance, but
that's not true. Everyone can dance.
Yeah.
Just depends how well you can dance.
Oh, right.
But everyone can dance.
Broadway, I ain't coming.
Broadway.
Well, I could do a Roxy on Chicago. I'm willing, because I just watched the Pamela Anderson doco and she did Roxy.
She did it?
Yeah,
you could do it for
anyway,
sure.
Why not? That's another story. Listen, Dena, thank you so much for coming. It's been such a gift. We'll see you on the next chapter, season.
See you soon. I'll be coming in for some skincare. You'll be coming in for some self-retreat care.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's fill those goodie bags.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so proud of you for doing this. I think you have such a beautiful message to share with the world. And I think you're a very inspiring woman. And I'm proud to know you and love you and have you in my life. So,
Dena, thank you. Needed to
Congrats
hear that.
on this.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.